robustness of your cardiovascular system, and hence resilient is that system to dying of anything or developing some type of a disease, respiratory, cardiovascular, in any given year, or dying of anything in any given year. The more robust that systems are, the less likely you are to die in any given year, and the longer the likelihood of just living is, period. It drops about 10% per decade without any training after age 30, somewhere right around there. And so it declines pretty rapidly. And I wish more people knew this, because as we get into longevity discussions, the time to develop it is when you're younger, to make that ceiling as high as possible in your 30s when you've got the capacity to peak it. So when you hit that decline where 30, instead of this 10% per year where it just drops rapidly. And then some individuals call it the marginal decade, that last 10 years of life, we have no independence. We have no real reserve built up, and we can't do much in that last 10 years. It's a struggle versus a thrive. Yeah. If we peak that and then keep it as high as possible and kept it there with some training, that decline looks more like 2 to 3% per decade. You're going to be able to do a lot more things in that marginal decade of life than if it's tanked by 50 to 60%. Now, it's not like, and where this comes in, there is a 4 to 5-fold increase risk of dying in any given year if you are in the very poor bottom quartile versus the quartile. I want to get somebody not to the excellent level. I want to just get you from very poor to good. And I use myself as an example. I'm at the good level. I'm right what's considered average. I'm 42, which is right smack in the middle of 40 and 44. I want to stay there. I don't need more than that right now for what I do. And I want to be able to stay there. So again, when I grandkids, whatnot, I can go play some pickup football. I can play Frisbee. I could go jog with a granddaughter or something like that and not be winded in 30 seconds. And we'll talk about this, but why something like VO2 is so important. You have to know where it's at now to establish what do I need it to be at now so it's still here when I am 50, 60, 70 years old. If you let it fall to the wayside by the time you're already 40, it will be high. You can get it there, but it'll be harder to increase. And if you've never done anything about it, it's almost too late by the time you're 60, 70. Everything is hard. Everything is fatiguing. So it's a good measure to have at any age to get tested, find out where you're at, and then you can start to train for it or to improve it, not only in the short term, like I don't want to die in the next 12 months, but I do want to be able to do these things when I'm 60, 70 years old. Let's improve that and enhance those efficiencies now versus waiting when it's going to be much harder to do at 50, 60, 70 years old.